cryptocurrency exchange KuCoin is offering retail investors fractional ownership of some of the more expensive NFT collections out there in what they describe as a form of ETF or exchange-traded fund. So to do this, they're working with the Fracton protocol, which they say fractionalizes valuable NFTs into fungible ERC20 tokens, which are then more easily purchased and held by traders. So if you can't afford a full Bored Ape, well, maybe you can afford 1/1,000,000th of a Bored Ape and at least benefit from speculating on its price. Honestly, the whole thing here kind of has a deja vu feel to me, although it's also possible that I'm just getting old. The idea of fractionalizing NFTs has been growing in popularity, but has been talked about for a really long time. One of the biggest challenges around it, though, is that at least in the United States, if you take something that isn't a security in the eyes of the law and then you fractionalize it, then it becomes a security in the eyes of the law. Not the underlying thing that you fractionalize, but the fractionalization itself and the representation of that. So there are some pretty significant kind of challenges here. Jen, I know you've been watching this for a long time as well. Why don't you kind of weigh in here? What do you think of this? Is this a good idea or a bad idea or just kind of a step on the road?
Yeah, I think it's an idea. I don't know if it's good or bad. I read this as well, and I was like, this sounds very security-y to me. And I think in the current climate, we have rising inflation, we have rising interest rates, and to make an NFT ETF just seems like, who wants this? Is this something that you want to put your money into? Are NFTs going to hold value long term? We don't know. This is just something that's so new, and maybe there will be some traction around a product like this in the next bull market, but I think it might look really differently. Like, I think the fractionalization of NFTs starts to sound really interesting when we're talking about NFTs that are attached to like the deeds of a home and not necessarily a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT. Like, what do I get if I'm buying a token that represents a fraction of a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT? Like, am I actually getting any of the things that the people who hold the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT get? I don't think so. I think I'm just, investing in something that sounds very much like a security and hoping that that's going to go up in price. And I think it's kind of like maybe it's going to fall flat. But maybe it's the beginning of something that could be really interesting if we're thinking about NFTs attached to real world assets that have traditionally held value in the past. Will, what do you think?
Jen, I'm surprised to hear you say that. I feel like you're always on top of NFTs and want them to go wherever they can go. So it's a little shocking.
I do. I didn't say it was all bad. I said it could be the beginning of something really interesting, but this particular thing, I don't know.
Surprised to hear that. I mean, fractionalized NFTs have been a thing for quite a bit of time. This ETF thing is interesting, right? You have the ability to basically bundle many fractions of many NFTs together into one package and product. As for the securities thing, like probably it is ETF, which is generally a security, but it's also KuCoin. I don't think they're US based, so probably are not worried about that too much. And if we're looking at a lot of the tokens out there these days, I don't think a lot of people care if they're a security or not. One day they might. The longer the US law comes after them. Last point on this is just interesting to think about what you get out of this, right? If you're a BASE holder, you get to have the hoodies and be a part of like the clubs and all that is included in the community. Don't know if you get that with a fractionalized token of it or holding an ETF of it. I would assume you don't. So Nali, I throw it up to you for your take.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Adam on this one. Like, this is, and just to kind of point out the securities issue, it doesn't really have to be just the US, I think. Recently in June, I think, a regulator in Canada, the Securities Commission there, the Ontario Securities Commission to be specific, slapped KuCoin with a penalty because it was operating a non-compliant platform that allowed residents to trade unregistered securities. And, with fractionalized, all I'm saying is that this could be a case where you're just like inviting regulators in. Regulators also in the EU are looking closely at fractionalized NFTs as a possible way of, calling crypto assets securities. So it's just a bit like saying, there's too many things here that are like, kind of inviting scrutiny. There's fractionalized NFTs, there's KuCoin, which has been fending off rumors about, all kinds of things recently. And Tether. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one, but I'm going to pass it along. There's just too much going on.